Hey everybody, welcome to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reams, the host and the producer of the show, and as always, I'm here to inform and inspire you, to educate you, and to motivate you so that you can take this information, put it to work in your lives, share it with your loved ones and your families. I've come a long way to have this opportunity to sit in front of you today. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reams, the host and the producer of the show. And as always, I'm here to inform and inspire you, to motivate you and educate you so you can take this information, put it to work in your lives, share it with your loved ones and your families. Now, today I want to share kind of a recap of the past 6 months. Now, by the time this show drops or airs, I will have been 6 months cancer-free. 6 months cancer-free. Now, if you look back in the archives here of this show about 8 shows ago, I did a whole show about my situation and my event in the ICU at the Williamson County Medical Center. That was back in the summer. Now fast forward here, and this is what I'm going to share today, part of it with the cancer. That actually did not get included in that show because I didn't know about it yet at the time that I did the show. So I probably taped that show, I don't know, Trent, what do you think, 2 or 3 weeks after my hospital event?
Yep.
And so I never found out the information that I'm going to share with you today about the cancer until 4 weeks, because what happened was this. I went through all of this in the ICU. I was paralyzed for 7 hours. I was on life support. It was as the result of an appendectomy, which is a really kind of a straightforward operation that usually doesn't really have any complications or doesn't really require anything major as a result other than just your recovery. Well, if I'm not going to go into the whole detail of that, you can review that show. It's a really good show. A lot of people have seen that show and heard that show, and it'll give you the whole story about how I came out of that. And basically, again, I'm going to quote one of my doctors who I've referred to in that show as my 3 angels. Had I not been living and doing everything that I teach and that I emulate out there to people in my work, had I not been living that and walking the walk and doing the work that I teach and that I do, her quote was, most people quietly fall asleep and don't wake up from this. So go back to that show, because as a result of that event and that time period, man, I hit the ground running every morning when I wake up. I got no problem waking up. I got no problem getting going. I got no problem for motivation. Every second and every breath is a gift. And I don't mean that in just like a ooh la la way. I mean, I really, really am living that much more than I did before. And I kind of always felt like that. But what happened was, I went through the appendectomy and I went through the paralyzation. I went through the life support. I was in ICU. I came out and I was actually, I got out, this happened on August 12th. And by that was a Tuesday. And by Sunday, I was back in the gym. I was back in the gym. Now, I wasn't setting any records, but I was back in the gym. I hit the ground running. But I had limitations. Because of the appendectomy portion of this, which if you recall from that show, that was chapter 1 of this whole event, and actually God walking me into the ICU that morning. I hit the ground running and I hit the gym on Sunday. But I had limitations because Dr. Slater at the time, my appendectomy doctor, my son, because of the appendectomy, I could not push, pull, press, lift anything over 20 pounds. And that's just something because of the sutures and because of the trauma to the midsection, because of the operation. I had to have that 30 days of recovery before I was able to really push myself. So I had to really, really focus on that. And that was tough for me, and he knew it was tough for me, but I can remember that sitting in front of him right before the operation, right before the operation, and then after the operation when he came to my room. And I was like, hey, Doc, I mean, I work out. This is what I do. This is what I do. And he's a workout guy too. I mean, this guy is really in great shape, my surgeon. And he looked at me and he says, look, he said, if you don't follow the rules and if you don't follow these guidelines of what I'm telling you right now, I'll see you back here within 30 days for hernia surgery. And I'm like, Doc, you got me. I am going to follow the rules, which I did. So at the time, what I did for 30 days is I did not lift over 20 pounds. But what I did was called what are called 100 rep sets, where I took very, very light resistance. And in this case, I used resistance bands as the resistance. And I did all the stuff that I normally do with resistance bands that I could do 100 times. So I was lifting super light weights, well under 20 pounds of force, but I was doing all these exercises in 100 rep sets. And I came out of that 30 days ripped as ever. I did not miss a beat. And I was able to step right back in to what I was doing and what I'm doing now, which is what I'm going to share with you. But when I went back in, this was almost 4 weeks. This was about 3.5 weeks. I went back in to Dr. Slater's office for my follow-up. And my main objective at that follow-up was to get cleared for exercise, have him look at my sutures, make sure everything is healing right, internally and externally, and make sure that I could go on and get back and hit the ground running like I was doing before. And like I said, I was so grateful that I had that knowledge. And I'm not giving anybody medical advice or workout advice, especially post-surgery. You listen and you consult with your individual situation with your doctor. But I was able to have this knowledge and able to have this expertise to say, well, I can do these 100 rep sets and I can just stay active, moving cardiovascular wise, walking, getting on the elliptical, where I normally do HIIT training and I'm 15, 20, 30, 60-second sprints all out, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest level. I'm at 15. I wasn't doing that. I was sticking close to that moderate intensity thing, and just to kind of keep the ball rolling and the wheels turning during that 30 days. But I had that expertise and it worked. So that's something maybe that if you've gone through some physical trauma out there, or if there's something that you're bouncing back from, get with your doctor and see about something like this, because what that did really is it kept my muscles, it kept my body cooking, and it also kept me neurologically active and functional, and it was not a lot of force on my body. I mean, anything you can do 100 times, it's minimal force. So I never got any instruction about like how many times I could do something. I just got the instructions about the 20 pounds of force. So that's what I went with. But when I went back into Dr. Slater's office that afternoon, and it was a Friday afternoon, and it was after a full day's work. But when I went back into Dr. Slater's office that Friday afternoon for the follow-up, this guy's an amazing guy and part of the team that actually helped save my life and allowed me the opportunity to be here and do what I'm doing now at a higher level than ever. But when I went into his office that day, this guy's like a pretty straightforward guy. He's a surgeon, so he's like, boom, 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 next. He's out the door. He's got stuff to do. He comes into the exam room, and I'm sitting there, and I'm actually standing. I'm kind of anxious. I'm ready to go. I want to get clearances so I can start that weekend, start elevating my workouts. He walks in. He's got a report in his hand, and he's almost like exuberant and much not like the surgeon demeanor that I met him almost 30 days beforehand when he took my appendix out. And he shook my hand and he said, Robert, he said, Robert, you had cancer. And I went, as anybody else would react, like came out of nowhere. Robert, you had cancer. But you had cancer in the best way possible because you never knew you had it. And you're talking about going through a life-changing experience anyway with what I went through. And again, return to that show and watch it because it's worth it to help you or anybody else that you know, a loved one or a family member, get through something like that and come out on the other side stronger than ever. You never knew you had it. And we got it out 100%. All your outcomes are negative. You're free and clear. And I just kind of had to pick my jaw up off the floor for a second and gather myself. And my first question was, after I kind of took in the reality of what he had just said, because that's something I never thought that I would be experiencing for sure, is cancer. I said, what about what is above the appendix, doc? Meaning the colon. Because colon cancer is very, very common. I said, what about that? And he said, look, he said, all your outcomes are negative. He showed me on the report. He said, had that been an issue, you would have heard from me before today, because he wanted to wait and tell me this in person, because this report was dated like a week after my appendectomy. He wanted to tell me this in person. And it turns out that he had shared the information with my wife after the appendectomy operation, after the actual appendectomy, that there was a cyst. And she, of course, said, you know, you've got to take care of that. You got to let us know what that is. And he said, of course, we're going to send it to the lab and we'll have a full report for you. She never told me that. So had I known that information, I would have been probably freaked out. So it worked out the way it was supposed to. But to be free and clear and have those outcomes negative in the colon as well and get that affirmation from the doc was, I was like a ping pong ball in that follow-up because I was all over the place emotionally, as you can imagine. To find out you have cancer, find out you never knew you had cancer, find out your cancer is gone, and you actually get the affirmation from the surgeon that knows you better inside out than anybody right at that particular moment to get that affirmation. So again, it was divine intervention all the way around. The whole experience was. And I had planned on getting a colonoscopy anyway. So we both agreed right away. He said, listen, he goes, talk to my assistant outside, schedule it, we'll get it done. He goes, I did 5 colonoscopies this morning. I do those. I mean, he's an emergency and staff surgeon at Williamson County Medical Center, and an unbelievably great one. Because again, saved my life and I'm free and clear. And as a result of all that, literally I'm like 15 to 20% stronger physically, endurance-wise, strength-wise. I've gained 8 pounds of muscle since then, all in my rear end, because I am able to now work my lower body more. I was getting that skinny leg thing going on, skinny butt thing going on, because I wasn't really able to put a lot of force on my lower body, especially up to that point, for a long time, and for a number of reasons, including sports and injuries that I've had over the years, and car accident injuries, and a lot of physical stuff that I've had go on over the years that I'm able to overcome. And now I'm overcoming like crazy. I'm probably, again, just motivated by, again, divine intervention. And I'm counting every single second in my life to make the best of it while I'm here. So I think it's just all coming full circle here. So I'm now a cancer survivor. Bobby Reams, Elkhart, Indiana. Robert Reams, professional, self-care coach, life coach, wellness coach, 43rd year in this business. And I shared at that time when I thought, before Dr. Terry Jerkins came into my life, my endocrinologist, I thought before that, when I'm sitting at the ICU, that all this was over. Everything that I'd worked for. I'd just come out with another book. I have an app. I have all this great stuff going on. I mean, just amazing things, just a list of things. I train 30, 35 people a week. I'm still involved with the Dr. Phil show. I still get to do a lot of media. I just was voted best of for 2025, best nutritionist dietitian by Nashville Fit Magazine. And this particular show, our Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast, was a finalist, runner-up. And Trent, we've been at this show, this version of the show, 8 months?
Yeah, I think so.
So big things are coming. And I feel very blessed. And so now I'm a cancer survivor too. So what I thought was over in that hospital is just taken on a whole new level. So I wanted to share that today because I wanted to share that whole experience and that whole event because that at the ICU show that I did prior to this, again, I did not have the information about the cancer when I did that show. So now it's out there and everybody knows. And like I said, when this show airs, I will be 6 months cancer-free. When this show airs, I will be 6 months cancer-free and then some. So anybody out there that is going through adversity, listen to this show, listen to the ICU show, and embrace this kind of stuff that I'm going to tell you today, because I'm going to tell you some things that I've learned and some key aspects of life that I always have followed and gone by, but now these are elevated to a level that they are just more than ever part of my being and part of who I am. So I'm going to start out with become obsessed with your self-care. Become obsessed with your self-care. Body, mind, spirit, physical, mental, working from the inside out. You have to take care of you so that you can be the best for everybody around you that needs you. But it all starts with you. So you need to become obsessed with self-care. Don't phone it in. Don't go, this is okay if I do this for a while. Just don't go below your standards, which is another one of these steps that I'm going to share with you. Raise the bar, keep the bar, live to that standard of the food that you put in your body, the drink that you put in your body, the news that you take in, the physical activity that you get in, the sleep. Be obsessed with it. Take care of you, because when you take care of you, you're going to emulate a spirit that people are going to be inspired by, and you're going to wake up every day inspired. And that's what this is about. I want you to be able to get to the point where I am and what I've learned and the place that I've come in my life, spiritually, physically, and mentally, as a result of all these experiences. I want you to find this out a lot younger than I did. Cut out negative people. Get them out of here. You don't need them. Negative people in your life, and they may be family. You're going to have to cut them out, or you're going to have to get to a place where these people no longer take you down to where they are. Because criticism and people that try to put you down, people that try to take away your spirit and take away your vibrance, guess what? It always comes from below. They want to be like you. You emulate the spirit and everything else in your life that you deserve. You are the one. So when you get that negative, like I said, when you get that those negative people in your life and they try to take you down, and sometimes you don't really know what's happening. Sometimes it's very manipulative. You got to cut them out, or you actually have to cut out any kind of significance that they have on your being. Because like I said, criticism, people put you down, it always comes from down. Never comes from up. So if there's negative people in your life, that take an inventory, either get them out or get them to where they don't have any significance on your being. That's a big one. I'm going to say it. Fuck the news. Half of it's not true anyway. And that's another thing that takes our spirit down, I think. I think people get involved. We have so much information today with social media, and we can look on our phones. We can look on our phones and we can get any information we want. But we have control of that. We have control of what we take in. So if there are things that you need to unfollow, or stations that you need to tune away from, or again, people that you need to tune away from, situations that you need to tune away from, stay with love. Half of the shit that's out there in the news and in the media right now is designed to confuse you. It is designed to control you. Don't let that happen. So pick and choose where you get your information, where you get your guidance, where you get your inspiration from. And always turn to God, because you can't go wrong there. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. Trent, do you feel that sometimes, where you just get like, you flip on your phone, you're just like, man, this shit is poison?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and everybody out there that's listening to this today, you feel it too. So listen, you're in control. Take control of it, and you take in what you want. And and if it's true news, you'll find out about it if you need to find out about it. So that's a point that I want to make, because again, all this stuff is designed to get you to that point of elevation, and for you to be able to keep that point of elevation for being the best version of you. That's what this is all about. Go with your heart. And this is kind of an offshoot of the previous one. Go with your heart and tune out the fear. Tune out the fear. Because again, so much of what is out there is designed for fear. I mean, let's take the ice storm that just happened here in Davidson County and Williamson County. I mean, it was pretty intense. And actually, listening to some of the news, it lived up to the hype. But what happens is underlying that is a lot of drama and fear to get ratings, to get you to listen more. And you almost get, this is kind of an interesting point, but you almost get subconsciously addicted to fear, we as humans, because we hear so much of it that kind of takes us in that place. So you always want to circle back and go, is that fear really warranted? Am I counting my chickens here before they're hatched? Am I creating something that hasn't happened yet, or may not happen, but I've already written the story in my mind? And so now I'm letting that fear permeate me. So just examine that, because again, it's a technique, and it's a life thing that can keep you centered, again, about your mission and your path. Talked about this show, last show with my great friend Schaefer Suggs, that we were both very much in synergy on this. Find your passion. Find your passion and find your purpose, because that will wake you up every morning. My purpose now, as a result of, like I said, all that I've gone through health-wise in the past 6 months, but really all along leading up to this, I've always led with a purpose. I've never had a problem finding my purpose, no matter what or how insignificant I thought it was to anybody else. And for you, your purpose is significant. I don't care what it is, as long as it is for the greater good for you and for everybody around you. Embrace that. Find it and embrace it, because that's what's going to get you going. I already had such a great concept of this and mission of this in my head and in my soul and in my being. But boy, you go through life support and you see your life flash before your eyes. You thought you see the pearly gates. Then you find out you had cancer. And now I'm a cancer survivor. Ask anybody that's been through some of that stuff. Boy, your purpose gets really elevated. But again, I want to do this today to help you to find that before you would ever have to go through something that I just went through. So find your purpose and embrace it. Get your rest, folks. You got to recover. If you're not rested, you're not recovered, you're not you. You've got to rest, and you've got to take time to make this happen. You have to get quality rest. When I talk about the big four of life, optimum exercise, physical activity, optimum nutrition, what I've already talked about, the fuel that you put into your system. Proper rest is aspect number 3. Proper rest and recovery. You got to have it. If you're running on burnout, if you're running on empty, if you're running on fumes, you eventually run out of that. Think about if I drove down here on the 840 and I was on E and I expected to get down here to spread the positive studios and I was on E, I'd have been stopped probably about halfway down the 840. My car would have given out. That's you when you're not rested. If you're running on E, you're eventually going to be on that road. You're going to have to pull over because you're not going to have anything left. So get your rest, because it changes your perspective. It motivates you. It gives you the energy, the clarity, and the direction to do what you need to do with your life. Health optimization. Get your weight under control. Mental, physical, body, mind, and spirit. Remember, at the end of all this and at the base of all this, I'm a health coach. I've helped thousands of people lose thousands of pounds and thousands of inches. Folks I'll never even know. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you accomplish health optimization. I'm here to help our country accomplish health optimization. We need it. Check out some of the previous shows that I've done. You'll find out all about that. That's my mission here. That's my mission with this podcast. That's my mission with any books that I put out, including my recent one, Anti-Diet, The Paradigm Has Shifted, with my app, with my team, with my corporate wellness company, with the people that I train individually almost every day. I still see people individually, about 30 to 35 people a week. I ain't stopping until I drop. And this is the kind of stuff that keeps me going. Perpetually check in with your inner voice, your inner dialogue, the voices that rumble underneath. And when I talk about inner dialogue, I talk about this thing that we do every morning. We get up. At some point, we go to the mirror. We take a snapshot. And whether consciously or subconsciously, or in a negative or a positive light, we take that snapshot, and that's what we run with throughout our day. That guides us. That runs our show. That is our undercurrent. That is our foundation. So perpetually check in with that inner voice, and that inner voice that, again, may be conscious or subconscious. The subconscious is quite a bit more powerful because it's exponentially more in terms of volume than your conscious. Once it's in your conscious, you can pretty much deal with it. And if it's not right for you, you can make the switch or you can make the adjustment. But some of that subconscious stuff is the stuff you got to really get down and take a deep dive into so that you can acknowledge it and then move through it. So that is something that I really, really recommend, because here's the thing. We all come into this world super happy. We are joyful. We are spiritual. We just do what, as little kids, we just do what feels right for us. We're fearless in many ways. But then life starts to chip away. Some of us very, very early on in childhood. But those things in life chip away. And those people and those events, we start to hear things and see things and take things in that maybe are not necessarily us. They're not who we are. They're not congruent with who we are, how we came into this world. And so we take those things on. We take on that stuff. And that becomes our inner voice. But that's not us. That's not who we are. That's stuff we took in, whether we were forced to, whether we didn't know any better, all the above. So that's when you have to go in and re-examine. If there's a direction that you went or a choice that you made or an event in your life or a person that came into your life and you're like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. You got to take a look at what was the inner voice. What was the voice that guided you into that direction? And I want everybody to think about this stuff in terms of health and wellness and self-care once again, because again, I'm sitting here today because I do all this work. I've done all this work physically and mentally. And it is the reason I'm sitting here today. It's the reason I'm sitting here at all, but it's also the reason I'm sitting here at the level of my life and the people near and dear to me. It's the reason I'm at this level, because I did the work. So the things I'm telling you is it's about weight loss. It's about health optimization. It's about being the best version of you. It's about you thriving. And your body, mind, and spirit, how you take care of your physical being has a direct roadmap and roadway to your mental well-being and vice versa. That's why I tell you this stuff. And that's why I'm sharing you with this stuff about kind of what I've learned, what I knew, but now it's really cemented into my being, and I'm sharing it with you so you can get into your being too. Do the plate structure. Listen, the fuel that you put in your system. I've talked about the plate structure a lot on this show. Anti-diet, the paradigm is shifted. You can get a full chapter. We've got recipes. We've got kitchen guides. Everything is in this book. Get the book, order it on Amazon, and get the book. Learn the plate structure system. It's super easy to learn, and it can help give you that guidance nutritionally so that you can put the right fuel into your system. The plate structure system, because you've got to feed your body right. Again, everything's connected. That big four of life. How you feed yourself is going to determine how well you can do physical activity. And if you're motivated to do physical activity, it's going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you rest better. It's going to help you with that fourth aspect, stress management. It's all a circle. It's all a synergy. And the Revive and Sustain Wellness app, which you can also get at reviveandsustain.com. There's courses in there that I devised with my team that you can listen to. You can listen to all this stuff all the time. The plate structure system, recipes, workouts, habit tracking, food tracking, girth. You can take care of all your weight and measurements and track your progress with these really cool graphs. I mean, it's amazing. I got all this stuff. You just need to tap into these resources based on my experience. It's all yours. And it's not expensive. I mean, this is a minimal investment that's going to save you, that's going to be real life insurance for you, all this stuff. So I'm encouraging you to get this, because I wrote and created all this stuff from the heart. From again, my 43rd year in this business, in the wellness business. And then you're talking again, what I've shared with on this show before many times. I was a heavy kid. I was an obese kid. I had to self-discover very early on that my self-care had to go up the priority level, and it did. And fast forward, here I am. So take advantage of what I can teach you and what my stuff can teach you. Take advantage of it. It's there. And the last thing to wrap this up is keep this all on your radar. Because you're going to listen to this, or you're going to watch this, and you're going to, wow, this is really cool stuff. This is amazing stuff. This is life-changing stuff, and it is. But then you kind of flip off your phone, or flip off your computer, or flip off your car, and you get to your meeting or whatever, and you forget about it. Or you kind of like let it go, and it goes into your past, and you don't really think about it. Or it may move you right away that much that it does get on your radar. But either way, however you take this and however you get this information today, I want you to embrace it. Because there's nothing here that I'm saying that is not going to do anything but enhance your life and everybody around you. And when you share this with people, man, they're going to be moved. I promise you. This is real stuff that takes you to the next level. This is where most of America and really most of the world are just kind of coasting along, and they're not really thinking about this kind of stuff. You've got it now. Get it on your radar, keep it on your radar, and emulate it and put it into your life. So that's the message I wanted to share today, the cancer part of my health event, and really articulate that for you, because I did a video. I posted a couple of videos about this on my Instagram at Real Robert Reams, at my Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page, Revive and Sustain Wellness, and then my personal Facebook page at Robert Reams. I've shared some videos about the cancer, but like I said, the podcast that I did here at Spread the Positive and with Nashville Fit Media Network about the ICU experience and being on life support, I did not have the cancer information at the time that I taped that. So I wanted to get this on there and then give you these kind of life lessons and life keys that have been totally ingrained in me now more than ever, and share them with you again, because like I said, this is real stuff. This is real life stuff, and it's stuff that you can put to work. And hey, if it helps, that's why I'm here. So again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. The RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reams. We're here at Spread the Positive Studios in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thanks to Trent here, the main man at Spread the Positive, and thanks to Terry and his staff at Nashville Fit Media Network, Nashville Fit Media Podcast Network. I'm grateful, and listen, I've just opened up here. I'm just getting started. There's a lot more coming down the pike, so keep tuning in. I love every one of you and thank you for listening and taking the time to bring me into your lives today and every day. Thanks again, and God bless. Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning in to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And don't forget the Revive and Sustain Wellness app. Go to www.reviveandsustain.com and download the app. 42 years of my experience at your fingertips. Till next time, everybody, in great health.